Hey, hola, namaste, bonjour, ça va? It's the Lost Canuck here again, and tonight we're going to be doing some cooking, because you know, got my cooking hat on. It means one thing, so look, you're probably saying, hey Lost Canuck, looks like you got a lot of pork butt here on your counter. Well, you'd be right in saying that. And I don't know if you can see my Trompo here, that's what it's called, a Trompo. But we're doing something I've never tried before, and we're going to try and make some al pastor tacos. So this is going to be phase one of making some al pastor tacos. We're going to take this pork shoulder butt and turn it into this. Stay tuned. And for my Hispanic viewers, a mis amigos que hablan español, los subtítulos debajo. And for my Hindi friends, Nietzsche subtitles. Alright, so let's roll that intro. Alright, so a friend of the channel, Brian Coutrakis, hopefully I've said that last name right, Efaristo Brian. Anyways, he suggested that maybe I try making some al pastor tacos. I love tacos, I love anything tacos. And just a little background on al pastor tacos, you know, it's a Mexican dish obviously. You know, you're probably thinking, hey, this kind of looks more like shawarma with the sticks and you put the meat on and everything. Well, you'd be right thinking that. So late in the 19th century, Lebanese immigrants came from Lebanon to Mexico and started making a lot of spit-roasted meats. And they made tacos Arab, out of lamb, of course. And anyways, that kind of trickled through the culture in Mexico, and the people from Mexico started making, blending in their ideas on how to roast and cook meats and making it their own. So they adapted it to pork, is what I'm trying to say. And so, hey, I love al pastor tacos, so I'm going to try it out. And Brian, thank you very much for the recipe on how to make the marinade, the al pastor marinade. I'm a creature of convenience. So, and I've never made this before, so before I go blindly making some marinades, which if this turns out, I'll be making homemade marinades, and using your ideas, I like the tequila idea. I just went out and bought some of the store-bought Chef Merito adobo carne al pastor. Okay, so all of my viewers south of the Rio Grande River, I apologize. I'm just a gringo that I'm going to try this first, and then we're going to make it out of real ancho chilies and the paste and the whole 9 yards. But let's start with baby steps. I'm going to try it easy, maybe make it easy on you guys at home if you want to try it. So let's get started. I've got 2 pork shoulders. I'm only going to use one. The other one I'm going to freeze, and well, I'm either going to make poor man's burnt ends out of it, or like my friend Neil over at Pellets and Pits makes. He made a really nice one. Or maybe cut it into pork steaks like my brother from another mother in Canada, Steve Gow, did some pork steaks out of these. So I haven't decided yet. Maybe you guys can help me out on what I should be doing with this other pork butt. But this one I'm going to make the tacos with. So let's open it up and get going. And these ones are boneless. And I've got my cut gloves on because I'm going to be doing lots of thin cuts here. And I don't want to slice my hand open. These are very sharp. Very sharp knives. And this one, I'll just keep it in the package for now and put it in the freezer in a bit. So here's the pork shoulder. They've already boned it out. So you can see here, this is where the bone used to be in here. And I'm just going to split this down a little bit. Follow the seam here. And you can almost do it by hand. And turn it into two pieces. So this piece and this will be the main slicing part. I'll probably slice it this way. Just take this trimming off here, smooth it out a bit. Yeah, I'll probably slice it for the tacos this way. Just take some of the fat off. And you want to make sure when you're ready to slice, and I'm not quite there yet, but you want to make sure your slices are about a 1/4 inch. Okay, so have yourself a nice, decent, sharp slicing knife. I like my Shun slicing knife, and the first couple cuts will just, they're going to be kind of ugly looking. We're going to save all that for the marinade. Now, if you've got yourself one of those professional meat slicers by Meat Your Maker or something like that, which I highly recommend, you can also put this on a professional meat slicer and slice it up. I just don't happen to have one of those yet. Notice I mentioned yet. And when I'm talking about Steve Gow's video, you can see there's some nice marbling in here. Now these would make really nice pork steaks as well. And this pork shoulder is only $2.29 a pound, so it's not expensive. I got it at Costco, $2.29 a pound. To make the stuff, it's not bad. Alright, so I'm going to fast forward this so that you don't have to sit there and painfully watch me cut every slice. Make sure you have yourself a really good pair of cut gloves. Okay? And if you don't have any and you want to know where to get them, I've got some links below in my store where to get them. Okay, now as you get close to the end and your cuts look uglier, I'm going to probably split this in two. Maybe make it a little easier to slice that last little bit. Glad I got my slicing gloves on because I nicked my thumb there a little bit. So those are good slices. I'm gonna slice these off. Now the thin stuff I'll just use for the top of the Trompo, and the thick stuff I'll use for the bottom. Like you make it like looks like a Christmas tree. I'm down to the butt end here now. Alright, probably a 15% scrap factor. So now that we've got everything sliced up into our little half sheet pan here, it's going to be time to apply the marinade. Okay, so we're going to marinate all these pieces, and we're going to leave it in the fridge and marinate overnight. So let me get another half sheet, and I'm going to kind of do this, and then I'm going to transfer it to another half sheet, and just make sure both sides are well covered, and then let's let it soak in for a while. All right, so now that we have your pork butt sliced up thinly, we're going to take our Chef Marito Adobo al pastor sauce, and again, to my brothers and sisters south of the Rio Grande border, lo siento. Okay, I'll make some real stuff next time. So I'm just going to coat the bottom of the pan. Okay, and these are 8-ounce jars, I think. Oh no, they're 18-ounce jars. So I bought two just to make sure I've got enough. So you want to make sure both sides are well covered. I just want to start, and then I'm going to leave the meat in here. Just make sure it's well marinated like this, that all sides are covered. And I'm going to wipe the jar off and save the rest of that, because we're going to try al pastor chicken down the line and see how that works out. I'm going to cover this with foil and leave it in the fridge overnight. Okay, so we're going to let our marinade soak in overnight. Well, now that we have our meat all marinated up in our half sheet pan, I'm going to cover this with foil, put it in the fridge overnight, fire up the Lone Star Grillz 42-inch pellet smoker tomorrow. I'm thinking, let's see, that was about 7 pounds, plus I trimmed away about, let's call it a pound of meat. So 6 pounds of meat. On the Trompo, I'm going to think it's going to take maybe 6 hours to cook. So I'll put it on the preheated grill tomorrow morning about, I'll put it on about 10 a.m. And then I'll be doing some probe testing again. I got a new probe from FireBoard Labs, a new pulse probe. They replaced it under warranty because the old one went bad on me. And so look, I've had problems with all 3 probes, and I'll go through that in the probe video, but I'll try all 3. It'll look like Sputnik again, or a Christmas tree. And we'll cook this, and then we'll keep on going. And this is a new adventure. So it's an adventure for me. It should be an adventure for you. All right. Hey, Lost Canuck here. Back at her again. Well, we've left the meat in the fridge to marinate for overnight. It's been about 14 hours, so perfect. So we're going to get everything ready to put out on the pellet smoker. Going to put some traditional pineapple on it. So I got to cut that first. So I'm going to just cut the, because you want to have one on the top. We'll save this for presentation, because you know, Lost Canuck's got to look professional, since I'm not using a homemade al pastor paste. So here's our pineapple for the bottom. Okay, and plus, when you're going to cut your al pastor, it saves your blade from hitting the bottom if you've got the pineapple. And when the meat starts cooking and you have all your juice, it makes for a nice juice. All right, so we're set for the top. We'll go grab the marinated meat. All right, so Lost Canuck, we're back. Got the al pastor marinated meat, and it's been sitting in this tub overnight. Now, look, you're probably saying to yourself, hey, Lost Canuck, I don't have a fancy stainless Trompo like you do. What am I going to do? Well, don't worry. You don't absolutely need this. If you do want one, they're cheap. They're like, was $17. So I'll put a link down in the spot below if you're interested. But anyways, you can just use a baking pan, and if you've got some long wooden skewers, you can use 3 or 4 skewers and skewer it up like that. It's you know, looks a little less pretty, but it'll do the job. But if you want to try this, like I say, it was 17 bucks. If you hate it, you can throw it away, give it to your neighbors, whatever. So let's get stacking meat. All right, got my pineapple on. Now what we'll do is we'll rotate the slices around so that it's sort of even all the way around. Try and get it in the middle if you can. Save your little pieces for the top. So now we're getting down to the bottom. Okay, so now it's your smaller pieces left for the top. Just use up what you can. Make sure you leave enough room for the pineapple on the top. Okay, so I used everything except one little piece. Alright, and now squish it down. Now when you cook this, it's going to render a bit. So now we're squished down. I'm going to put the piece de resistance and the pineapple up on the top. There. and this will just help get some juice, etc., to flow over it. And that's it for this part. So again, I'm just your everyday average backyard barbecue kind of guy. I've never done this before. It's going to be interesting. Well, here's what the plan is. We've got the pit set at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, it's all preheated, ready to go. I'm going to hit it with smoke, heavy smoke like that at 200 for the first hour. Then I'm going to turn it up to 275 and let it cook for the rest, I'm going to say 6 hours. I'm going to put some of my temperature probes in there so I can monitor it remotely. I'm going to go get my hair cut in a little bit. And then after the first hour, you take your juices and you baste the sides with a basting brush. So I'll see you guys down at the pit. All right, well, Lost Canuck here. We're down at the Lone Star Grillz 42-inch pellet smoker. And just about ready to put the Al Pastor onto the pit. Now I measured this skewer, the Trompo comes with 3 different skewers, a 12-inch, a 10-inch, and an 8-inch. So I measured from the bottom shelf to the top, and my 10-inch will fit. Just barely, but it fits. All right, and I've got it set at 200, and I've got my probes ready, so I'm just gonna put some probes in so I can monitor this cook remotely. My ongoing probe tests. Okay, and just so you know, FireBoard sent me a brand new probe because my old one, the battery failed, and it should get picked up here in a second by the controller. So I'm going to put this one on this side just for fun. I actually can feel it hitting the center rod, so I'm going to put one on there. I'm going to put one in each quadrant, and then I've got my combustion probe right here. So just FYI, I'm going to cook the internal temperature of this to 145 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's safe for pork. It'll maintain its juiciness. I'm going to keep basting it every once in a while. So let's put the third probe in. Okay, so I got 3 probes in. I've just got I'm trying to burn off some old pellets. So I've just got a mix of oak and hickory chips in there from an old cook. I'm going to use them up. Let's get her on there. You can see it's smoky. This thing smokes like crazy. We're going to hit her with smoke. Smoke this thing up really nicely for the first hour. And then for the next 5-6 hours after that, I'm going to turn it up to 275 and let her go. All right, Lost Canuck out. All right, Lost Canuck here. And I'm back at the pit. Look, I've been running errands all day and been basting every once in a while in between them. The core temp is showing, it's about 135 on one side and 140 on the other. I'm going to baste, do a little turn, and it should be done in about an hour. It's been on the pit for about 5.5 hours so far. Just take some of our juice. And I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to put my heat glove on because I don't want to burn the crap out of my hands. Alright, Lost Canuck out. We'll see you upstairs here in a few minutes. Well, we're back at the pit. You've seen me doing some basting here all day. I actually turned the temperature down a little bit, down to 250. My wife and son were out doing some shopping, but they're just back. And they came back right in the right moment. My internal temperatures have hit 145 degrees, which is safe for pork. So anyways, let's open the lid so you can see what this all looks like. And then I'll take it in upstairs and we'll slice it up, see what the tacos taste like. All right, let's take a look. I think you'll like this. All right, so it got nice and looks like a volcano. And I've been basting it, and it looks like it turned out very nice. So let's bring it upstairs. We'll do some taste testing, and we'll see if this was all worth it. See you upstairs. All right, Lost Canuck. Well, we're upstairs in the barbecue lab, and I pulled off the al pastor meat. And let me tell you, it smells great, looks good. Been basting it for a while. So let's pull off our little decorative top here. All right, so all 3 probes were in, and I did some testing. Results may vary, but let's see if I can cut some of this off. Here we go. Very tender. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's cooked all the way through. It's juicy. Guess I should take some of these top pieces here and cut. It's just falling apart. Smells awesome. Okay, so we got some tongs. I'm just going to try this little piece. Time for the taste test. Yummy! Pork's got a nice bark on it. I don't know, it's peppery and tasty. A little bit of tomato. I don't know. It's a little spicy. I like spice. The meat's very good, very tasty. And I'm just, as you can see, I'm, letting it soak in some of these juices here on the bottom. It just pulls apart. Time to make a taco. Okay, so I've shaved some meat off. I've had a few pieces. I have another one. The sauce, the store-bought sauce, is good. I think it's a little salty for me personally. So next time, I'll try making my own sauce. Brian, thank you for your recipe. I'll try that. I like the tequila idea. And made a taco here. Put a little salsa and some fixings in there. So let's try it. It's tasty. It's very tasty. It's tender. I think the store-bought sauce was just a little too salty for me, but hey, that's me. Your opinion may vary. In conclusion, you can do this with pork. I've seen people do it with chicken. Maybe I'll try chicken next time. Wasn't that hard to make. You don't even need a fancy Trompo like this. Like I say, you can just use bamboo skewers. That's my final thoughts and conclusion on that. Hey, and don't forget, follow me on social media. I'll put up my Instagram QR code right here. I post lots of stuff, photos, ideas, etc. So come check me out over there. And again, if you liked any of the stuff, like the Trompo, for sure, it was $17 on Amazon. I'll put a link in my store down below. And then finally, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the new guys coming in and checking out my channel. It's much appreciated. If you have other thoughts on what I should be making, leave me a comment down below. Hey, Lost Canuck, you shouldn't have used that store-bought stuff. You should have made your own. And you're probably right, I should have. But I just wanted to try to see how this would work out, and it worked out great. So I'm going to put up a playlist here. Check out some of my other content. Lost Canuck says, be kind to each other. Lost Canuck out.